Hi, welcome to Tamika's Story Time. Thank you for tuning in. I have a cautionary tale to share with you, and this particular cautionary tale is based on a young woman by the name of Lyntell Washington. She was a school teacher in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, and she was a single mother of a 3-year-old. And I'm going to share with you the backdrop of this a tragic story of a woman in search of love and ending up in the wrong man's arms, being murdered by the hands of her boyfriend. On June of 2016, a 3-year-old baby was wandering in the parking lot of Louisiana, Georgia, when a good Samaritan came across this little girl. This woman scooped this baby up and she asked this baby, "Where is your mommy?" And she noticed that the little girl had blood on her bare feet. This little girl was wandering the parking lot with bare feet, with nothing on her feet, and her feet was covered in blood. And this woman again said, "Where's your mommy? Where is her car?" When she asked where's her car, the little girl pointed to a vehicle, a parked vehicle. As the woman got closer to the parked vehicle, she noticed that blood spatter was inside the vehicle, and she backed away from the vehicle and called 911. When 911 got there, they looked inside the vehicle and observed the blood in the interior of the vehicle. And the little girl who was in the Good Samaritan lady's arms said to the police, "Robbie put mommy's blood there. Robbie put mommy's blood there." Well, the police didn't know what to make of it, but they knew that this little girl witnessed something horrific. So this woman held on to the baby while they ran the plates of the vehicle, and they determined that the vehicle belonged to Lyntell Washington. And they began their investigation of where this mother could possibly be and this child, what happened, that this child was left alone and she's in blood covered her feet. And so the Good Samaritan woman went the whole walk with this situation with the police. She held on to this little girl as they did an investigation, contacting relatives and trying to get to the bottom of how this little girl ended up in a parking lot and where's her mother. And throughout that process, they discovered that Robbie was Robert Marks, a principal at the school where Lyntell Washington worked as a school teacher, and was very known to all the students and all her co-workers as being, by all accounts, a loving, caring, devoted mother, loving, caring, devoted teacher. She would go out her way to help the students. She would go out her way to assist in any problems or help resolve any problems that anyone had. So this was not only a teacher, but a loving mother and a supportive figure in not just her job, but in her community. And unbeknownst to most of the faculty members at the school, she began to have a secret relationship with the principal, and his name was Robert Marks. And only one other person knew of this romance, secret romance, was a close friend of Lyntell's who also worked at the school. And she had the history behind Lyntell's journey of trying to find someone that she could call her own, a man, if you will. She was in search of her Prince Charming, her Romeo, as most single women are. They want someone, that companion, to share the rest of their life with, to help, if you will, nourish and educate and protect her and her child, her young daughter, who end up being the key element to solving her mother's murder, if you will. Once they got a hold to Robert Marks, they went through his phone. They saw the text messages. He couldn't deny it anymore, that this relationship did exist and that he had a relationship with this woman. And he was the last one to see her, because the call that's on his phone and the text message that's on his phone that he tried to delete, they were able to retrieve. And he was the one who met up with this woman. With that confirmation from the police and the confirmation from the little baby saying Robbie put my mommy's blood there, he took the officers to where he dumped her body, which was at a construction site, and he led them there. Once that was revealed, the little girl, the baby, talked to a counselor, and she managed to get great details from this baby of what happened to her mommy. And I'm going to give that backdrop of that little girl, of that baby's, what she observed, but I'm going to give you what led up to the meeting and how this became a threat to him. When Lyntell found out that he was not going to divorce his wife because she was in the relationship under the pretense that he was going to divorce his wife, he was separated from his wife. Him and his wife shared the home, but they were not together. This was under how they carried on their relationship. And this went on for months. And this woman became pregnant. And when she became pregnant, she later started seeing a change and shift in his and what he would do and his formality. What he would normally do, he wasn't doing anymore. What he would normally say, he wasn't saying anymore. So she became very intrusive with questioning him. What's going on? Why are you not happy? We are in this relationship. You're moving on. We're moving on together. I thought this is what we wanted. And come to find out that he wasn't leaving his wife, and they were still together. How this came out when she announced she was pregnant. So she was infuriated and she was hurt. And she said, "You're not going to do this to me. You're not going to do this to me. You're going to let your wife know that you have a baby coming." And he changed his melody, if you will, his tone. Okay, we going to talk about this. We going to talk about it. No problem. And he promised her they were going to talk and they would figure it out and they would get through it. And he wanted to meet with her after her doctor's appointment, which she had with her, got her sonogram done, and he was to go, but he was at work. So he said that he would meet her after work, and that he did. And this was the last time this woman was seen alive. And this is where the 3-year-old comes in at telling the counselor what happened, filling in the pieces of that day. She went on to say that mommy picked Robbie up And Robbie and Mommy were talking, and Robbie hit Mommy with something, and she started shaking. And as she was shaking, Robbie pulled Mommy out the car, and she was sleeping, and he laid her there on the ground. Mommy's sleeping outside on the ground. So this was the testimony that ultimately sealed this man's fate with first-degree murder. Life got him convicted with life without the possibility of parole. So this baby, he ended up taking this woman's life because she was carrying a baby, and it was a baby, her baby, who got this man convicted for first-degree murder. Okay, so this is just a cautionary tale for all young women out here that's dating in the dating world. Just be careful who you choose to share your body with, because this could happen to anyone. No one's exempt from this. This can happen to anyone. Nobody is exempt from tragedy. This woman was taken from her baby in front of her baby because this man didn't want his wife to find out about his low down dirty activities that he was doing and his ultimate betrayal to their marriage. Well, that's a sure way of getting discovered, going to jail for first-degree murder, trying to cover up for a baby you didn't want to have. That's a sure. I don't know why in people's minds, in young men's minds, they think that, or a man's mind, they think, okay, I'm going to murder this woman so I can live happily ever after. How you think you're going to live happily after and you're going to be always looking over your shoulder waiting for the police to come and say, hey, we got evidence of XYZ. We got this, we got that. Once, and you left a baby, a 3-year-old baby out in the parking lot. How did you think you was going to go ahead and move forward with your life? But again, when your back is against the wall, you make rash decisions. I don't know. I'm not giving no excuse to this man. This was a teacher. This was a husband. This was I don't know if he was a father, whatever. He was an adult that should have known better. What that saying says, as a child, I put away childish thoughts. As a man, I put away childish thoughts. As a child, I did childish things. As a man, you put away those childish thoughts and things. You have to think before you react, and nobody should have to tell a principal that. Okay, this man was a principal before anything else. Okay, and he was a man. He was a man, a husband, and a principal. Okay, well, all those elements, you can figure it out. You can figure it out. It wasn't a death sentence until he put that bullet in her head. Then it was a death sentence for him too. And you destroyed this young baby's world. You took a mother away from this child because you didn't want her to have your child. Like, this is the stuff. This is like repeated. This maternal homicide. It never ends. It's like crazy. But just be mindful of that. Don't give your body. Your body is your sanctuary. That belongs to you. Ladies, your body is your sanctuary. You don't have to lay down with no one. And when you do lay down with that person, know what that person's intent for you really are. And know what your intentions with them really are. Because once that situation evolves into something more romantic in your heart and mind and being, or a baby is one thing. That's a blessing. You got people that's giving off more than babies. I'm just going to be quite frank with you. Diseases. So thank God that, and bullets to your head. So just your option: diseases, bullets, and a baby. Like, which one you want to choose? But nonetheless, bottom line is this: be careful. Don't share your body with everybody, and everybody ain't worthy of having you or having your body. Use your mind. Go by your instincts. Go by your feelings on what you feel. Don't go by what a person is saying out of their mouth alone. Go on their actions and how they make you feel, how they treat you, how they look at their habits, look at their patterns. Do your own due diligence of the investigation for your safety. Not so much as being intrusive and just being, no, you doing your, and you, before you share anything with a person, especially your body, do your due diligence. Investigate this individual. Make sure this person really is who they say they are. Make sure it really is what they say that it is before you go giving your whole heart to this person and your whole being to this person, especially when you have children. You have to be extra cautious because your life is not just your own. Your life literally belongs to your children until they're capable of raising themselves, okay? And that's when they become an adult. Then you can do it coming as you go, and then even so, still, you still belong to your children. Once you become a mother, that never stops. It's not an expiration date on that. Regardless of how many times the world tells you, oh, when they're 18, you just go send them off into the world there, go figure it out. No, they will always be your children. That don't expire, FYI, until you close your eyes, you're gone. Okay? Motherhood just don't expire at a certain date. You say, oh yeah, you're a mother up until they turn 21. Okay. And they may have a little wiggle room to do what they want and go as they please. But still, that still doesn't take that mother instinct, mother responsibility from your life or equate that from your life. Some mothers feel differently. Me as a mother, I feel my child, I don't care how old my child is, I'm going to be her mother to the day my eyes shut and open no more. Rather it be mine or hers. Whichever one happens first. And even when hers shut. And if God forbid, and if hers shut before mine, I'm still her mother. So that ain't going to never stop. I carried her. I nurtured her. I craved her. I wanted her. And God gave her to me. That's my blessing in life. I'm just saying, as a mother, that's how I feel. And I can't see me being a mother not expressing that to anyone. My children come first. If you can accept that, then we can talk. If you have a problem with that, then I suggest you move forward. We need not waste each other's time anymore. And that should be quite understood. And I can respect. If I was a man, I would respect a woman for that. And then me as a woman, I can respect women that say that. Stand on that. And don't buckle on that. But whatever. My thing to you is, again, whole body health. I'm giving you this story as a cautionary tale because anyone can be affected. It could happen to any one of us. We need to do better as men. And as we need to do better and safeguarding ourselves and also think. Be rational thinkers, not acting on emotions and fear. Because when you act on emotions and fear, you're going to automatically want to put a bullet in that woman or that girl or that man's head for fear. Think about your options. And go over your options with yourself. Go over your options with the Lord. That's why it's imperative that you have a relationship with God. Because that takes away that fear factor. Nobody, you should be scared of no one more or greater than you're afraid of God. So the absence of God is the presence of the devil. So who you going to walk with? Light or darkness? I'm going to choose light every time. The light is where I want to be. The light is what I want to. I don't care about no lies. I don't want lies. I want truth. No matter how much truth hurts, give it to me because truth will set you free. That will break all the bondage that comes with telling lies. Okay? The lies we tell ourselves and we feed to others. Truth will set you free. So I say this is a cautionary tale for us all that's in a seeking, single woman, single ladies, single men. Be careful who you share your body with, because a baby that's a blessing. It may not be a blessing to some, but it's always a blessing because you could have a disease or a baby. Which one would you take? Okay, so that's something that, and diseases, this disease is getting more detrimental than the last disease. You dig? They ain't even coming up with some diseases that's coming out right now as we speak. As I speak, there is constantly more diseases being in play or coming into the realm of the sexuality freedom, if you will. So just be your body is your sanctuary. You only get one body. That become disease riddled, you're done. So just something to think about. Babies is one thing, diseases is something totally different. But that's going on another subject for another day and another topic and another story. But I got one for you. Stick around with your girl, and guess what? You're going to get some more story time. I say whole body cleanse. You know this is my tea. Super greens, keep your body good health. Live good. Tamika's Healthy Choice, livegood.com. Check it out. You can get super greens, super reds, whatever you want. Whole body cleanse. And I like to say, stay prayed up. Walk with God. Be a blessing to someone so that God continue to bless you. And I will continue to bless you with more story time, cautionary tales, and testimonies, if you will. I say peace. God bless.